Carlo woke to the harsh glare of Tulum sunlight, his heart pounding as if it had just run a marathon. The night prior replayed like a fever dream. Elise's laughter, the feel of her body, the electric thrill of something forbidden. But as the haze lifted, it all felt wrong. A mistake, a betrayal. Across the room, Tiffany tossed her pillow in frustration. Carlo turned to face her, bracing himself. She never wanted a dramatic scene, but this was circling into one. "Why didn't you say anything sooner?" she asked, voice trembling. He ran a hand through his hair, eyes darting away. "I thought I could handle it," he confessed. "It just happened." Tiffany glared at him. "Elise, again, behind my back, and now you say it was a mistake?" Carlo took a deep breath. "Yes, it was impulsive, but in the moment, I didn't think it through." Tiffany's jaw clenched. "So you wake up and decide, it was a mistake? It shouldn't have happened?" Carlo nodded, too stunned to speak. He'd told Tiffany he'd hooked up with Elise and then professed it was a mistake to her face. Part 1, flirting with blame. Their love triangle had always teetered on a knife's edge. When Carlo first confessed, "I was kind of happy that I hooked up with Elise, and I liked it," the world seemed to tilt. But that high turned sour fast. When Carlo said Elise wasn't the type to bring home to his mom, but he called their intimacy a mistake, it was careless and cruel. The words "beneath me" and "trash" still echoed in Elise's mind. Tiffany, in return, called his behavior trash and fingu, not mincing words about how disrespected she felt. Part 2, Elise's trauma. Meanwhile, Elise's world had shattered. In a raw, burning confrontation, she accused Carlo. "You hurt me, and I knew you were going to do this to me." The night before, Carlo had whispered vague apologies. Having sex was a mistake, he muttered. "But you kept coming back." Elise's eyes burned with betrayal. "Multiple times?" she demanded. Carlo's silence was his second betrayal. Elise had trusted him even when he insisted, "You're special to me." That lie stung the most. Part 3, the tell-all unravels. Carlo. The fallout intensified on the tell-all. Screenshots splashed across cameras, Carlo's cruel texts mocking Tiffany, calling her fat and ugly, and Elise, calling her dumb bitch. And yes, slutty chick was thrown around too, and similar phrasing, slutty chic, in fan commentary. Chantel couldn't stay silent. She confronted him, outraged at how he talked about the women in his life with such viciousness. Part 4, creative expansion, the inner world scene. Elise's confessional. Midnight, Tulum jungle, the moon casts pale light through leaves. Elise sits, tears glistening, her voice shaking. "Carlo called me a slutty chick, as if that makes it easier to swallow. Like I wanted that. I didn't hook up with him for status or shock value. I did it because I thought there was something real." Her breath catches. "I replay it every night. Dumb bitch, trash." And this, the kissing, the closeness, they felt real. But his words were like salt in the wound. Scene, Carlo's confessional. Morning after, he stares blankly at the jungle canopy. "I messed up. Hooked up with her while torn between two people, and then blamed her for the fallout. It wasn't just a mistake, it was selfish. I hurt two amazing women." Part V, emotion-fueled convergence. Later, at a group gathering, Elise and Tiffany lock eyes across the room. The tension is electric. Tiffany approaches, voice softening. "I'm sorry I reacted like I did." "But you slept with him." Elise looks away. "He hurt me, too." Tiffany nods, conflicted but compassionate. Carlo stands awkwardly nearby, too ashamed to meet either of their eyes. Chantel sidles up behind him, arms crossed. "You used them. You mocked them. You called them names. And now, you're back on your feet, playing the victim?" Carlo flinches. Chantel steps forward, flips on the camera mic. "You owe them more than a half-hearted apology." Part 6, creative reflection. Carlo slams his palms on the wooden table. "You know, maybe you're right," he says. His voice cracks. Raw. The scene pulses with an awkward, shaky honesty. Narrator outline, for ambience in the jungle's quiet. Tensions simmer. Elise and Tiffany, once rivals, now share wounded space. Carlo, unraveling under the weight of his own instability, seems dwarfed by the fallout. Chantel stands as a moral center, pointing out the obvious, demonstration of insight, simply standing with the women he wronged, instead of hiding behind a headset's. Part 7, after the storm. The episode ends with Carlo on his knees, not to any woman, but to himself. His confessional: "I treated love like a game, like options to exhaust. I said things to tear people down so I didn't have to face the wreckage I made. I called Elise a slut. I tore down Tiffany. I didn't want to be human enough to feel the damage." He exhales, trembling. If there's redemption, It starts with owning every word. The screen fades, leaving viewers unsettled, but maybe hoping for growth. Story themes explored accountability. The fallout only deepens until Carlo acknowledges his harm, not with excuses, just ownership. Toxic language, terms like slutty chick and trash carry real weight, and the story peels back their ugliness. Empathy and resilience, Elise's pain and Tiffany's betrayal are mirrored by their strength. They aren't defined by Carlo's opinions. Intersection of romance and performance. Reality show relationships often swirl with editing, but the raw emotional core remains a human story. Word count check. This creative piece stands roughly around 1,500 words, blending excerpted scenes, emotional beats, and dramatic arcs drawn from the news sources while expanding with fictional narrative flair. Let me know if you'd like to expand any section, dial up the emotional drama or tenderness, pivot the focus between characters, or even turn this into an entire script or monologue version.